Every morning, Baba Ayo, his mind locked by the spell, would cook 3 giant pots of food, enough to feed 100 people and more. Then he would wash Mama Ayo's underwear, scrub her feet, wash all the plates, clean the entire compound, while their 2 daughters, Ayo and Kemi, never lifted a finger, never cooked, never cleaned, just watched their father work like a slave. Mama Ayo has trained her husband so well, the village women would say, not knowing he was under a spell. Every morning, Mama Ayo would carry the 3 pots of food to the farm. She would feed the ghosts, watching them eat with their grey faces and empty eyes. Then they would return to work, planting, harvesting, weeding, clearing. The farm grew bigger and bigger. People would visit, walking through the endless rows of perfect crops, marveling at their abundance. Mama Ayo forbade anyone from entering the small hut at the eastern corner of her farm. The hut was where she kept the clay pot of special water. It was her most precious secret. Kemi, now 16 years old, had always been suspicious, unlike her sister Ayo, who enjoyed their wealth without questions. Kemi noticed everything, the way her father's eyes were always empty, the way her mother carried massive amounts of food to a farm that supposedly had no workers, the way people kept dying in the village, mysterious snake bites, sudden sicknesses, strange accidents, and that locked hut that nobody was allowed to enter. One morning, Kemi decided to follow her mother. She watched as her mother loaded the 3 giant pots onto her head and left for the farm. Then Kemi followed, staying far behind, hiding behind trees. When they reached the farm, Mama Ayo went straight to the small hut. Kemi crept closer, crouching behind a bush near the hut's window. The window was small and high, but Kemi could peek through a crack in the wooden boards. She watched as her mother took out a clay pot, watched as she poured water into her hands, watched as she washed her face, muttering strange words.
Eyes that see the living see the dead, eyes that see the day see the night. Open.